Hey guys, James Wilson Taylor here for Rock Sound with another news update. The Faim are back. The brand new single is called Ease My Mind, and I'm delighted to say we have Josh on the line right now. How are you, Josh?
Hello, I am very well, and it is good to be back. Very excited to be bringing music this time, and not just saying we're releasing it, but actually releasing it. So that's a great feeling. I mean, we'll wait till Friday. We'll wait till today and see how it goes. But yeah, as far as we know, it's happening.
It is happening. It is happening. It is here. It has arrived, man. Before we get into that, obviously you've been away for a minute now. I've kind of been starting a lot of these chats recently saying, obviously I hope you and the boys have been staying as safe as you can over the last year or so. But how have you found this? I guess you guys are in kind of a unique position where touch wood and everything, but Australia hasn't felt quite the brunt of all those restrictions in quite the same way as we have over here, for example. How's that meant it is in terms of like working with the band and stuff? Has it been kind of relatively normal for you guys still?
Yeah, well, for me and Lyndon, it's been like more relatively normal, but Sam lives in Melbourne and Stephen's recently moved to LA. But for a chunk of our recording time and when we were playing shows in Perth, and we were all together in Perth, and we didn't really feel the brunt of it. It was more that we couldn't tour the rest of Australia. Unfortunately, we had things lined up and wanted to go outside of Australia, of course. But in that regard, we are still very fortunate and very lucky to be in the position that we were in. So it didn't hinder us too much in the aspect of being able to still write and play some shows in Perth. But unfortunately, we weren't able to take the extra step. But, everyone's in the same sort of boat with this situation. You've got to roll with the punches with it, really.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You always have to. But it's good to see you guys have been keeping busy in this time, though. Of course, like we say, the first single, it's back. You're back. It's here. It's called Ease My Mind. Let's just get into it, man. Where did this one in particular come from? Because it does feel like you guys, but it's got more of a kind of, it's on the rockier edge of what you guys do. I know you guys like to flirt with some poppy sounds in there as well, but this is definitely a big drive in rock sound from you guys, right?
No, for sure, man. And that's what we wanted to come out with straight out the bat as well. We were playing the song live a few times beforehand and, it's got a lot of energy to it. And for us, it kind of, really felt appropriate with the time. Stephen came with the idea and finished out the song. And, lyrically as well, I feel like it speaks to a lot of time, speaks to everyone at the moment of being surrounded by uncertainty. And sometimes, your mind can feel cluttered. You can feel overwhelmed with what's going on. It's hard to really feel centered. And it felt like the perfect song to kind of open up, the rest of the songs, because it's got a lot of energy. The sentiment's true to what's going on now and true to how we feel. And we love the song, so it just feels so good to start getting stuff out there, man. Very excited to see what people think.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you played it live a few times and everything. Was this one you kind of had in the locker for a little bit? Did it come in kind of more recent sessions? When did it actually kind of start to appear for you?
We had it in the bank for a while. We've had it because we've been writing for a really long time, man. Yeah. Like that was kind of the only thing we could do with COVID besides, obviously pushing as many other things as we can with shows. But, when those things sort of fall through because of, obviously putting everyone's safety first, the only thing you can do is write. So this song, I'd say, has been in the works for just over a year, I reckon. Yeah, and we've written so many songs, man. And it feels good to finally start being able to put it out there. And this was one of the first ones that really felt we were certain about that this was going to be one that we released. So it's been cooking for a while.
Yeah, it's funny as well. You mentioned, lyrically, of course, it's very, very relatable to, the situations we've all kind of been in over the last year. I've always found it's kind of a challenge with a lot of bands at the minute where nobody necessarily wants to write like a pandemic record. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, everything that's happened to the world, it's going to affect your songwriting in some way. I've seen Stephen talk a little bit about how that kind of affected the lyrics on this one in particular. I guess talk to me a little bit about that kind of balance. It's got to be tricky wanting to talk about what's happened to you, but not necessarily pigeonholing it and boxing it into that idea of like a pandemic song, right?
Oh, for sure. Like you don't really want to, I think like as soon as you start thinking, you're going to write a pandemic song, then that's what it'll be. And that's what people will perceive it as. But if you're in this situation, which is the pandemic and how it affects you personally, and you're right about how you feel and how you're kind of reacting to this sort of situation that is completely new for a lot of people, for our generation as well, especially. And that brings up a lot of different feelings. And the only thing you can do is express yourself naturally. As soon as you start being like, we're writing this song about the pandemic, it becomes different to actually being a song about how you're feeling in this time, if that makes any sense.
No, that does make sense, man. No, it's a delicate balance to do. I think you guys do it really, really well on this one. And
sure.
Let's talk about the kind of I guess taking these first steps, because this is the beginning of a new era for you guys. Clearly, there's more music
Mm.
to come. We'll see how much we're allowed to talk about and how much I'll get out of you on that one. But there's clearly more stuff to come. I guess the first starting point is there. How did you approach things in terms of looking back at the previous record? Your debut is always going to be an interesting moment. You guys had the EPs and
Mm.
stuff before. When you look back now on that first record, what were the things you went, right, we did that really well. We want more of that. Maybe we can
Mm.
improve a bit on there. Maybe we want to try something different here. What were those kind of talking points moving on from the first record into what we have now?
I think one thing we really wanted to focus on was having time to just really write. With the first record, we were incredibly sporadic. Like we were in different parts of the world all the time. We were riding on the road. We were playing shows almost every single week. And there wasn't really time to actually focus, not, I guess focus is the wrong word, but really have the time to nurture what we wanted to write. It was more of a case of, we really wanted to get songs out that meant a lot to us, and we did. But now that we have this time to really focus and, not just focus on the sound of what we want to do, but also the bigger picture of what is the next step. This is the catalog of what we've had before, and how can we really take what we've done and, I guess, go further with it. And the only way we've done that is simply just with time. And it's been, especially with the writing aspect, it's been a very grueling process and it takes a lot of time, but it's been incredibly worth it. And I think everyone within the band is finding their own peace amongst it and being able to voice what they want out of this album as well. And it's really taking shape.
Nice. No, good to hear, man. Who have you guys been working with this time? Has it been, mainly writing among yourselves? Have you had any co-writers in there? Who's behind the production desk? What's been going on this time in terms of the wider team?
Well, there's been a few names, but at the moment it's still open-ended. We've worked with Zach Safini on a few songs as well, which is great. And we're still writing songs now. We haven't gotten everything, and that's why we're not putting necessarily a box on it, because we want to really just see where it's going. We've got a bit more time, especially now, like Stephen's really bringing in a lot of songs. Everyone's bringing such a creative inspiration to these songs right now, and we just feel like we're on the cusp of something really, really great. So Zach Safini will be a few, Eric Ron as well, most likely. But at the moment, we're just kind of still writing and still getting these songs across the board.
Yeah, good to experiment like that, man. Like I said up top, this definitely sits on the kind of rockier end of what you guys do. It's got a big, big drive and rock sound to it. Is that the sort of territory you've been playing with in this record? I mean, you guys like to mix it up in a lot of ways, I know that, but are we leaning more into this type of sound this time?
I think we are. I think we definitely are leaning more into the rock, alt rock sort of world. Don't get me wrong. There'll still be, like you say, we love to experiment with sounds. We love to experiment with where our songs can kind of go. But I think we are definitely leaning more into that alt rock area, which is fun. And it's exciting for us to really chart a new territory.
Yeah, really exciting, man. Really exciting. We should mention, of course, you clearly are in the studio right now. Is it hard at work this evening? Is this what's going on? Are we catching you mid-session right now?
Well, actually, right afterwards, Lyndon was tracking some drums today. Did an amazing job, absolutely amazing job. We're here at Underground Studios in Perth, and I will be tracking vocals tomorrow. And exciting stuff, man. It feels good to be getting back into the swing of things. And, next year is going to be incredible. We've already got some incredible festivals lined up, and just can't wait to start getting in front of people and playing shows again, man. Cannot wait. It's been way too long. We got to get over your side of the world. It's been way too long.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Far, far too long, man. And yeah, and I guess that's what I'll leave you with as well, Josh. What are those bigger plans we want to talk about for 2022, man? Live has got to be, as you've just said, top of the list, as it is for every band at the minute, right? You must be, with a collection of new songs ready to go, so desperate to get those out in front of the people again, right?
Oh, if there was a word that was just bigger than desperate, I would use it, but I don't know it off the top of my head. We can't wait, man, especially with the new songs, and especially after having this time with, not being able to, go to the places that we've wanted to. There's, it's kind of like pent up over this time. We're really excited just to get back out there. And we know that I think that people are going to really enjoy where we've taken, these new songs. I think it's going to really connect live. I think people are going to love the way, and I think they're going to connect with how we feel about it, because we love these songs and we feel very, at home with being able to just have the time to take these songs to the next level and feel comfortable about it. And I think for us, playing live has always been a key part of connecting with people. It's always been something that we've felt you really see our true selves when we're playing live, especially with songs that really invoke emotion. You really see a part of ourselves that is very raw, and haven't been able to do that for a long time, but we're itching to do it again. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, fun times ahead, man. Roll on 2022. It's going to be an exciting time for you guys.
Sure.
Josh, it's always really nice to talk to you, man. Congrats on this new single. Can't wait to hear what's coming up next with you, man. And like we say, hope to see you over here in the UK when that's allowed, when it's all safe and all that stuff. And we'll get some shows in the diary. That's what we want to hear, man. But yeah, in the meantime, take care of yourself, all right?
100%, mate. Thank you so much, James. And thank you to everyone watching. Cannot wait to see you all, and hopefully in person very soon.
Yeah, good to see you, man. All right, Josh, everybody.